Okay, hey everybody. I am here today with Rachel Vishneski. I think I said that right. And Rachel has studied art and interior design, and today she is going to share with us 6 tips that we can use to make our homes cozier on a budget. So, Rachel, I'm going to put it over to you, and why don't you go ahead and kind of introduce yourself? Tell us what you got, how you got introduced to design, and then we'll just kind of do a little casual Q&A.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
So my name is Rachel. I live in California right now, but growing up, I was from Maryland. And I guess to about the age of 10 to 11, my dad had a construction business. So every weekend I was always like hanging out in his shop, watching him build. So I really took a love for woodworking. And he built my parents' house. So just watching that process, I really got intrigued of like designing and rearranging stuff. So this is pretty funny. On a typical Saturday night, most kids are out watching movies. I would always be in a room somewhere in the house rearranging furniture, and I wouldn't let anybody come in. So I would wait for like the big reveal. So I would create like different colors and just different patterns. And so that's really, I think that I grew up really wanting to pursue something with interior design.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Yeah, and then fast forward, I studied art in college and design, and I became a teacher, but I still had a passion for interior design. I always did it on the side with remodeling short-term rentals, because if you rent a space, you want it to feel like, your house, not a rental. So that's where I really got started with it.
Awesome. Okay, so today you're going to talk to us about cozy spaces in your home. And so I would love to hear your perspective as an interior designer, as somebody who loves creating spaces. Why do you think it's important to have cozy spaces in our homes?
Yeah, I mean, I think in reality, to make your whole house a cozy space, it costs a lot of money. So my thing is, pick one space where you spend most of your time, whether it's the bedroom. In my case, it's the family room. And I think we need that cozy space because with today's schedules and, if you're a mom, you're so busy, you want to just have a cozy little space where you can unwind and not think about, all the things that you have to do, and just really let your mind be at ease. And I feel like it gives a sense of happiness when you have that cozy space.
Yeah, I totally agree. I actually did a little remodel painting project just yesterday and today, and it makes you feel like, oh, this feels so nice. Yes.
Every time I rearrange furniture, I'm like, oh yeah, check me out. Like, I want to hang out here, I want to hang out there. So.
Yes, it's so true. It's so true. Okay, so why don't we dive into the tips that you have for us today? And I love how you said Rachel's going to tell us how to use items that are in our homes or may probably already be in our homes to help us create a cozy space. So, floor is yours.
Okay, so most of these items you probably have in your space, but maybe you just don't know how to use them, how they should be used. So the first thing of creating a cozy space that I want you to think about is curating. How is the furniture set up? When you're moving your furniture, it's important to think about what is the focal point. Is it the TV? Do you have large bay windows? Do you have an open space? So my living room, for an example, our focal point is the fireplace. So, you angle the furniture where you want that focal point to be, and you want to also think about the flow of traffic. So how's the pattern going to move in and out? Do I want my guest scrunched up, like trying to go through tables? No, of course not. So really think of the focal point, the traffic pattern, and I will say function over form. I could go on about it, but what are you using the space for? Are you using it to entertain? Are you using the space to just have conversations?
I'm writing these down. I'm taking notes, my own notes.
I mean, I could go on. And then one more tip I will say, I always like to say, don't be a wallflower. The worst thing you could possibly do to not create a cozy space is to push the furniture up against the wall. So if you just pull it out at least 4 to 12 inches, you're immediately going to make your space feel more airier, and it's going to create a dimension.
Oh, I like that.
Number 2, I love this one because I have books. You have books. We all have books from when the Kindles were popular. And I love books because they can be used. First, they're very cheap. You can pick them up for 25 cents at the thrift store. But they're good space fillers. So maybe if you have a shelf or a fire mantle, instead of, buying an expensive piece of who knows what sculpture that, like the thinking guy, fill it with books because they're colorful. They come in all shapes and sizes, and they're a very inexpensive space filler.
I love that. Yes. Do you think you should make them coordinate in terms of color, or does it matter?
I mean, I feel like pops of color, like the ones that I have at my house, they're teal and then they're red and then they're purple. It's kind of like an eye catcher. And I think that's really unique. And then of course people want to see, hey, what book is that? And then, it might start up a conversation piece, especially if you're having a gathering or something where some people don't know each other.
I love that. Okay. Great.
Tip 3, blankets. I say blankets because we think like it's a no-brainer, but every time I go to my parents' house, my mom has the blankets in the closet, and I'm like, you got to use the blankets. And I say blankets, they not only do they keep you warm, but they just make a couch feel more lived in. I can't tell you how many times you go to a friend's house, maybe it's just my friends, but the couch looks so perfect, like from an Ethan Allen collection, that I don't even want to sit on it.
Yeah.
So pillows and blankets make it seem more lived in. Tip 4, think about your rugs. So not just a one rug, but I'm talking like 2 or 3 rugs. And a good technique that I do is I layer rugs.
Ooh.
So I might have one rug down like a 7 by 10, but I might layer a 5 by 8 at an angle. Not only do the rugs look, cool, but they create definition and they create texture to a room, and it gives it a cozier feel. So I've done carpet and then rugs and then another rug.
Wow, I love that tip.
Yeah, and rugs, I mean, they can be expensive, but you just need to know where to get your rug, which I'm going to share later.
Awesome.
Later on.
Awesome.
Tip 5, nature. So whether they're artificial plants, which are easy to get, or real, I feel like when you add plants or any type of greenery into a room, it automatically gives you a type of Zen feeling. It creates a mindfulness feel, and they're pretty inexpensive. I have a fiddle leaf, and I can't tell you how many compliments I get at the fiddle leaf. It's just something so beautiful. It's aesthetically pleasing to the eye, and it makes the room feel good.
Yes.
Yeah. And then the last one would probably save the best for last, but I would say lighting is one of the key components. When I think of lighting, mostly in apartment rentals, they have those huge overhead lightings with the fan, and it's like, that's not cozy at all because the light is just like an interrogation room. If you invest in a couple good table lamps and floor lamps, it automatically will change the mood of your living space, and it creates some parts of darkness, but also parts of lightness. And then candles. So not only are candles inexpensive, but they give off light, they give off light, smells, and candles make any room feel cozy. I mean, you can put a candle in a bathroom and the bathroom's like cozy.
Yep. Yeah.
So
awesome.
It's to making your home cozier.
I love those tips. And like you said, I love them because these are things that we have in our homes typically, or that we can, easily find and doesn't cost a lot. So yes, leading to the next question is, what are your best tips or best tip for shopping on a budget? Like right now we're actually, we are building a home, and our new house will have, hard floors throughout. So I, like in this house, I don't need a lot of rugs, but in that house I will. And I'm like, oh, where do I get all this stuff? So yeah, I'm super interested in your tips here.
Okay, awesome. So, I mean, I think the first tip you have to keep in mind is, what are you going for? Like, what? It's just like the grocery store. You can't go into the grocery store without a list. So, think about what you're looking for. I will say, if you're not even sure what you're looking for, go on Pinterest and get a couple ideas of what you're looking for. But for smaller items such as candles, little glass vases, one of my favorite places to go is Marshall's. I mean, it sounds silly, but like I like Marshall's better than Home Goods because I feel like their clearance section, it really is a clearance section. Like Home Goods, it's still expensive.
Yes.
But Marshall's, it's like one of a kind things. I tell you what, I got my rug of my dreams at Marshall's for $60, and on Amazon and Living Spaces it's like $200. It's a Turkish rug, and it was in the clearance bin. So
Awesome.
Also the flea market. Check your local swap meet here in the Los Angeles County. We have so many flea markets. There's 3 once a month. So check your local swap meet. There you're going to find the unique little vintage fillers or items that will go good in your house, and it's different. They don't look like Home Goods. And then for my last but favorite one, big ticket items. I get all my big ticket items on OfferUp. I loved West Elm and Anthropology. I love all that stuff, but it's like I'm not gonna pay $100 for a planter stand. I found a West Elm planter stand on there for $19.99. I mean, the person just wanted to get rid of it. So
it's OfferUp.com?
OfferUp.com, yeah, it's like Craigslist, but it's more reliable. People have profiles, so it's more trustworthy.
Okay.
You how many things I've gotten on OfferUp. Like I'm addicted. Forget Instagram. I'm like OfferUp, like buy.
Wow, I never even heard of that site. So that is like fabulous information.
Yeah, OfferUp for sure.
Awesome. Well, these are amazing tips. And like I said, for me, I completely appreciate them right now as I'm going through this kind of redecorating process or thinking about it for a new home. But just like you said, these are awesome ways to just update your spaces. So I love this so much. If people want to connect with you or kind of like see what you have to offer, where can they do that?
Yeah, for sure. So you can go to my website. It's rawdesignslbc.com, and there you can actually download the freebie. It looks like this. So
Ooh.
I gave a snippet kind of what we talked about today, but here it gives you a little more in depth. So it's for free because really I feel like we should have these resources for free.
Yeah.
And then you can connect with me on Instagram too. That's at Raw Designs LBC. And if this is your jam, I will say anybody, that wants to connect with me, just shoot me a message and say, hey, I saw this video and for June, I'm going to give you 10% off my interior design course. So I'll be teaching you, we'll actually redesign a room of your choice for under $100. So I'm going to give you more tips and tricks then.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that offer for our audience.
Absolutely.
Sounds
Thank you for having me. This was awesome.
Yes, thank you for coming on, and I will put all of your contact info in the notes of this video so people can contact you. And I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.